Hey, greetings everybody. It is Lecon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. Stay a while and listen to this one. This is the first Guardian, 2,610 years before the Dark Portal. We have jumped forward 70 years, and more importantly, we are finally starting to, in my mind anyway, this is the beginning of the dominoes falling that lead to the Dark Portal. Really, it all began, you could trace anything. It's 10,000 years ago. We're getting some of the key players with Malfurion, Tyrande, and Illidan and stuff like that. The beginning of time, where Sargeras is concerned, that's as far back as we can go. But this is, to me, I don't know why, the Guardians are tied in to the concept of lore, of Warcraft. All right, let's check it out. The first Guardian. For decades, the first members of the Council of Tirisfal discreetly tracked down and banished any demons they could find. Okay. When facing extraordinarily powerful foes, the Council's members would channel their abilities into a single individual who would act as a solitary vessel of their power for a short time. So again, tapping back into that idea of creating a matrix, and you also have in the War of the Ancients, Ronin, Krasis, and especially Illidan would do that a lot. They would channel the power through them. So it seems like this is a concept and something that's been happening in the magical world for quite some time. Empowering a single champion was a dangerous ritual. As such, it was only done in rare and dire circumstances. The council members would have to be in close proximity to perform the ritual, leaving them vulnerable. The massive influx of energies also had the potential to destroy the appointed champions. So that's not something we saw. Instead, we would have the other people drained. The conduits, or not the conduits, the people that the champion got their power from. Yet if they survived, they could overwhelm even the Burning Legion's mightiest agents. Despite the risks, the Council of Tirisfal used this empowering technique to great effect for many years. But everything changed when a dreadlord named Cathra Natir infiltrated Dalaran. Okay, and this could go back to the Shadowlands concept that the Dreadlords are secretly the puppet masters behind everything. So they're even back here nudging the mages in the direction of having to create the last Guardian. Or the first Guardian, rather. This cunning demon stalked the city's beautiful spires, spreading his poison through the hearts and minds of the populace. Terrible plagues gripped Dalaran. As the affliction spread, a veil of paranoia enveloped the city. And the stupid rats in the underbelly. Sorry, I just spent the past couple of days getting Rat Stallion from the Underbelly Tycoon, and it was not fun. Upon investigating these phenomena, the Council of Tirisfal discovered and confronted Cathra Natir. The gifted magi found themselves outmatched by the demon. Seeing no other recourse, they moved to empower a high elf named Ayrton Brighthand as their champion. Ayrton hurled himself against Cathra Natir, wielding the council's combined might as his own. It was here that Cathra Natir turned the council's greatest strength to his own advantage. Rather than face the champion directly, the demon struck out at the Order's members. With their energies in Brighthand's control, they could not defend themselves. Cathra Natir's shadowy assault disrupted the connection between the council members and Ayrton. This in turn weakened the champion's powers until eventually he fell to the demon. Only the desperate intervention of a young half-elf named Alodi spared the council from total annihilation. I wonder... No, there's not a book about this, but this is a neat story. I don't know where this comes from. Okay. The wary council rallied for another battle, but this time as individual magi with no champion to focus their strength. Cathra Natir reveled in the council's disarray, easily thwarting his adversaries. The defeat shattered the Council of Tirisfal's confidence and hope. The Magi knew that they could not overcome Cathra Natir as individuals, nor could they rely on their empowerment ritual. In this dark moment, Alodi and his allies discovered a new way to wield their power. No longer would the council members need to be present for the battle. Through a complex ritual, they could permanently grant someone a portion of their power. Alodi was the first to undergo this experimental technique. When the ritual proved successful, he declared himself not the council's champion, but it's Guardian, the first Guardian. The newly empowered Elodie faced and struck down Catherine of Tyr, banishing the Dreadlord back to the roaring depths of the twisting nether. Yeah, because remember, those are not burning legions. Those guys are like from the same old god branch. I believe the Dreadlords are. Hailed as a hero, Elodie would serve as the first Guardian of Tirisfal. He used his great powers to prolong his life, and for 100 years he hunted down the Legion's minions. At the end of his century of service, Elodie gave up his power voluntarily, choosing to live out the remainder of his days in peace and tranquility. So began the tradition of the Guardian. Every century, a new mage would arise to dedicate his or her life to safeguarding Azeroth. The Magi chosen to wield the Council's might would demonstrate their humility and commitment to peace by giving up their tremendous power after 100 years. For more than a millennium, so for over 10 Guardians, an unprecedented era of prosperity reigned across the whole of Azeroth. Come on, how many unprecedented? So I wonder if we're going to jump forward 1,000 years after this one. Though conflict and suffering could not be entirely eradicated, thus is the nature of existence, the Guardians ensured that no demonic intruders would harm the world. As these noble individuals waged their lonely secret war against the Legion, Dalaran continued to serve as one of the world's foremost centers of arcane knowledge and research. Okay, so for over 1,000 years, things continue on. We have a Guardian of Humanity now, and that is safeguarding any incursions, any negative side effects of magic. All right, we know it is not to last. So this episode is in the pipes, 5x5, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft. Thank you, guys. See ya.